Okay, so let's dive now into the teachings, the fundamentals of animal Reiki. So, the first aspect is that animal Reiki is based on traditional Japanese techniques and philosophy. And that's very fundamental because those teachings are based on meditation. They are not based on touch. And when I learned people Reiki, I learned that there are different hand position that you need to follow for during a treatment, and that's really how Reiki, like a treatment, is like its hand positions on the body. And with animal Reiki, touch is so secondary. Like we don't necessarily use touch, and I must say I rarely use touch. It's really some animals would come to you and really want touch. Like I think last week or the week before, I did a treatment with the Chihuahua, and I've honestly never seen a dog wants to be touched that much. He was like constantly around me and wanting to be touched. It was just, but to me, in my experience, those treatments are rare. Most of my treatments are done using meditation, and sometimes the animal may come to me and initiate contact and want to be touched, but then he will just move away and go back to his bed and fall asleep. But there's rarely like touch is really not primary in a Reiki treatment. So that's the first big difference with people Reiki. The second aspect is that that's kind of related to the first aspect, is that we don't start a treatment with touching the animal. Obviously, we really start using meditation practices, techniques that we learn, during the level 1, breathing techniques as well, to get us into that space. And in that sense, animal Reiki is not an energy therapy, because like with people Reiki, usually Reiki is mentioned as an energy therapy. And with animal Reiki, it's completely different. It's meditation based, so it's not really a therapy. However, the power of meditation is just amazing. And I'll share with you some stories about like miracles that I witnessed, because it's just mind-blowing. But in that sense, it's first and foremost a mindfulness meditation practice. So in that sense, that's also very different from people Reiki. Another aspect of animal Reiki is that depending on where we practice, but when we learn Reiki, I always teach in an animal sanctuary, because they are, we are surrounded with animals that come from some like difficult situations, and some have trauma or physical injuries, and it's not always easy, and the setting also can be doesn't allow us to practice meditation, like formal meditation. When you sit down, you close your eyes, because first, it's not safe, in an animal sanctuary. You need to constantly keep an eye on, the animals you are offering a treatment to, because it's really, you respond to the animal, you let the animal guide you through the treatment. So you need and some, are so fearful of humans that they may become aggressive. So you really need to stay safe, and you can practice formal meditation. So we may practice meditation like standing up, walking, like it's a very flexible practice, because we are constantly adapting to the animals. So when you start practicing, with your animal at home, then it's a bit different. It can be a bit of more formal practice. But I always recommend to keep that flexible mind, because then it will become second nature. Like Reiki will become part of you, and you will get into that meditative state like very easily the more you practice. So another important aspect is that we use kind of mental focus techniques that develop an all is well state of mind. With the techniques that we learn, we focus on the soul of the animal, of their, beautiful light, of who they are. We don't focus on what's wrong with them. We don't focus on their pain. We don't focus on their injury. We don't focus on their trauma. We don't focus on that at all. And I can tell you that that's another aspect that really was a game changer for me in my practice when I learned animal Reiki. Because animals, they really don't like when we have that, pity towards them. And sometimes we can't help it because we feel so sad for what, they've gone through. But by having that approach, it's really bringing them down, and it's so much harder for us to connect with them. So when we learn to switch that focus and have an all is well state of mind, things can shift completely, and the connection with the animal can be so much easier and so peaceful and uplifting, despite what you can see from the outside. So it's a bit like, with people, I know it's a bit intense, but people who have a serious illness, they don't want to be associated with that illness. They still are who they are inside, regardless of that illness, of that disease, whatever is happening with them. And they want us to see them like who they are. They don't want us to focus on, the illness, because it's just bringing everybody down, really. So we learn to shift that focus in the practice.